Hello, everyone. We are live today. I'm going to take a few moments and wait for people to get here in this space. Um, yeah, but what's exciting today is we have a very special guest because you know how I play the chime. We get chime and chicken every day because he crows, we play the chime, right? But today I wanted to bring you what was totally, absolutely to me amazing about Adam today from Meinl. And to be honest, I don't even remember how I stumbled across Meinl. I can't tell you because I don't remember, which is weird for me, but it was such a natural experience to come across Meinl and their products. And today, when we meet with him and ask him a couple of questions, because we're talking about the power of sound. Now, I don't know for however many of you are going to be here today, but for the replay, you see, the power of sound is absolutely amazing in that it's not one of those things that we can really, you don't judge it, you just experience it. And it transports you to a completely different place altogether. Like, for instance, I came across this video of this Hindi woman and she was singing. She wasn't singing in English, but I mentioned it yesterday because it struck me. Her notes, her resonance, the vibrato, everything was just, and her phrasing, like, because again, she's not singing in English, but it was the phrasing, the way, the intonation, just, you could not help but be riveted by the sound itself. And so when we talk about sound or the principle of vibration, which is the third principle, vibration is because everything moves. Nothing stands still. So these words that you're hearing, this tone that you're hearing, it's a wave of sound passing over your eardrum, your tympanic membrane, and then you and your brain, you interpret it. But something happens to you before you cast your interpretation upon it, right? This is why listening is so pivotal. Listening without judgment. It's not a matter of, do I like it? Does it appeal to me? No, just listen. And so that's one of the reasons why I love my chimes that I got through Meinl. And so today, without further ado, welcome, Mr. Anderson. I had to say it because I couldn't help myself because it's so Matrix, and you know how much I love the Matrix. But anyway,
Thank you.
welcome, Adam. Thank you
My
for
pleasure.
joining us today on Positively Adam. Yes. So tell us about Meinl and what their name means and this kind of stuff. Tell us
Well,
about that.
Meinl is the last name of the owner of the company. Uh, Founded in
Yes.
51 as a cymbal manufacturer in Germany, and just throughout the years is just a German business sense is always, if there's a gap in the market, let's find it. And so going into percussion in 1972, and then through just through the years adding more and more brands and styles of stuff into Sonic Energy in 2017, 16, something like that. We just saw that, like, how
Mhm.
much percussion was being used in music therapy and sound therapy, uh and just noticed that there was no one like really offering products that were widely available. So we just, without really knowing much about the how vast and wide the world of sound therapy and is, we just started finding the right products and making changes. And as we've discovered more things, and the way, like, here's something that people are using, let's see if we can make it and provide it for all areas of uh, sound.
Wow. So when you say percussion, because I do music too, right? Just, my hobby thing. But percussion, so you have the cymbals, uh, I grew up with a tambourine. That's a percussion instrument because they have little tiny metal cymbals. Then you have things like xylophones and kalimbas. Like percussion is really so vast, but it really goes to show how big the scope of sound really is, because we think when we go to a concert and you've got the drummer back there and nobody really cares about the drummer all that much unless he misses a beat, right? But the way he hits the cymbal, it does something to you, like the gong as well. And I know in traditional Chinese culture they use gongs a lot, but here we are thinking, oh, just the sound. But as you mentioned, that that field of sound therapy, a lot of people are beginning to really comprehend how vast sound is and what it does to us when we listen to it, you know um like you mentioned sound therapy. And sound therapy, I've got a good friend, she's a sound therapist because she's been playing bass for like since she could walk. So having that real understanding, that deeper comprehension of the power of sound and what it does to you, like if we can imagine, I guess, our favorite song, and whatever kind of a mood you're in, and you hear your favorite song, it does something to you, right? Like it really does something to you, and that's just your favorite song. And if we could expand on that, then we would really begin to get a sense of how it has totally flipped on me, but that's okay. We're good. But um, you had also mentioned, because that was going to be my other question, and you did kind of answer it. You touched on it, and you said, like with German business, you want to find where there's a gap in the market. So that was going to be my next question. Like, what was the driving force that even made the Minels say, "Well, hey, let's tap in here"?
Yeah. So it's just as we see where our products are being used, and we are constantly getting requests from our artists or from end users and consumers on, hey, like I use this thing for this purpose, or do you have something that can do this? And we listen. So
Mhm.
as things come up, it's and really had no idea how intertwined like musical instruments was within like sound therapy and gong baths and yoga and relaxation meditation. I mean, yes, we knew it was a part of it, but really, like it's was a little unbelievable how integrated it all is. So like, sound can be relaxing. It can also be not relaxing. And but so positive frame of mind definitely gets you in. If you feel better, you get better. You relax easier.
Yeah.
So we just notice like work like frame drums is a huge market within health and wellness as well as in music globally. And
Mhm.
seeing people like singing into the drums to get the resonant frequencies back, and then playing along with a singing bowl and all these chimes and gongs and all these things. And I was like, we make stuff close to these things already. Let's do that. And then as we come out with it and we get more feedback, we can learn about the world, all the hundreds and probably thousands of different schools of thought and sound therapy and relaxation and meditation. And let's just make sure that we cover all the bases and we don't leave anyone out, because music is for everyone. So we want to make sure that we include everyone in it.
Yeah, see, oh, I love when you said that, because I mean, growing up in the Caribbean, like we have this, well, Trinidad and Tobago, they do it more than we do. But it's the oil drums, that just that big canister, it's just a metal drum. And what they do is they cut the top off, and they put indentations in it, but the indentations are tuned. So it's a very big thing because it just came out of nowhere where they created, they call it a steel pan. So that when you hit it, like, it is a real experience to be a part of it, to hear a steel pan and just to realize that we are so driven by sound. We truly are, especially in African cultures, it's the drum we're most driven by. And so in the Caribbean, they really, especially Trinidad and Tobago, but then when you go to the continent of Africa, that's a whole other ball game for drums and how they use drums. But it's interesting how, as humanity, we are so drawn to sound, and not just sound as in the drum or the gong, but like in Hindi culture or uh, the Alps, where they yodel. And we think, but why would yodeling be okay? Because of the way it resonates inside the body. Like, we just as people are so drawn to sound that it, we found so many different ways to not only just use our bodies, because, Bobby McFerrin, don't worry, and he made sound with just his mouth and his whole body. And that's what's so intriguing to me, is that we started off with us as the original instrumentation, as humanity, and then we branched out because we wanted to amplify sound. So there must have been something that our ancestors knew, early humans, that they knew and understood with sound, that made them think about these things, the drums. Uh, and for me, it's the chime, right? Because there's something about it. And you said, because you mentioned, um, it can either make you feel good or it doesn't make you feel good. And it's interesting because most of your instruments are tuned to 432 hertz. Now, a lot of people might not know what 432 hertz is, but from what I've understood, 432 goes all the way back to Pythagoras, and how he played the note and then he would half it, and then that's the next note. So your piano, and you start at C, that's what you're doing, right? And so what ends up happening there is that we learned about 432 and then 528, and all these different hertzes and frequencies we learned about. And then all of a sudden, 440. Now, I kind of dabble in guitar, right? Kinda. And I tune mine to 432. But what happens when you tune to 432? It's so relaxed, it goes out of tune easy. But 440 is more tense. So it stays in that tune a lot longer. And so what I've realized with playing the chimes that are tuned at 432, when you listen to the chime, your body follows along of what it hears. And this is what shows up as making somebody feel good or not feel good. Your body follows along with what that is. Like, if you walk into a room, I told you guys the other day, if you walk into a room with a tuning fork, yeah, and you strike that tuning fork in that room full of pianos, every single piano is going to fall in line with that tune that you just hit. So then your body does the exact same thing when you listen to a frequency, to a sound, right? And so that's what's so beautiful about sound. And then to come across Minel and what you guys do. I know in the beginning, it was just like, oh, you're filling a gap, right? But that gap is so important to be filled because it helps humanity as a whole. It really does help us. So um I have one final question for you,
Hmm.
Adam, because I have my morning chime, my AM. This is, which hammer do I have? I have the wooden or the bamboo hammer on the inside, as opposed to the plastic, because the plastic, it's a different tone. It's still 432, but it's a different tone. I like the richness of the the bamboo. But if you were going to recommend something for a beginner who's never even picked up anything, what would you recommend?
Oh, for a true beginner, I mean, it all where you don't even know what world of sound meditation and relaxation and therapy you want to get into. Uh, any
Hmm.
of the bamboo chime, cosmic bamboo chimes, would be a good starting point. We have kalimbas. Uh, we have a lot of steel tongue drums, which are extremely affordable, and those are tuned with pentatonic scales. So this, with the idea of instinctive playing, intuitive playing, instead of having to know what notes are. There's no wrong note. You can just noodle around and just have fun until you find a pattern that you like and relaxes you, and go from there. But you're never going to hit a wrong note. Those would be the good starting points, and then as you move on from there and you learn about things and which tones you like, then metal singing bowls or tuning forks, or just, I mean, we have a really big catalog of stuff that we're, if there's an instrument for it, we're gonna, if we don't make it yet, we're probably going to make it soon. So,
Yeah. I like that because I mean, I remember I would consider myself still being a beginner, but I like sound. And I know you guys have the rain. Uh, I know there's a rain stick,
mhm.
but there's it's not a bowl. You know what I'm talking about. It's a rain thingy, or it has the sound of the ocean in it with,
Ocean drums, wave
you know
drums,
what I
yeah,
mean. Yeah, wave drums. Yeah, that would be, I think, something cool for a beginner too, because who hasn't been to the beach or heard the
yeah,
ocean, right?
absolutely,
At some point in their lives. I think that'd be a really great choice too. But again, you go according to affordability. Um, I really like that one because I grew up by the beach. And so I find that if you're looking for any kind of relaxation, any kind of ease, the moment you pick it up, whether it's the chime or the wave drum, the moment you pick it up and you start to hear it, remember your body responds naturally, just the same way it responds to your favorite song or your least favorite song. It's going to respond to what is being heard by you. And the more you do it, the more intense that response becomes. So if you set up your habit of every day at 3 o'clock, you play this wave drum or you play the chimes, every day that you do that, something physiologically happens inside of your body. And I know that coming from a manufacturer's standpoint, they don't always see it that way, but this is the other side of what you do, Adam. This is the other side. This is the effect you're having on people when you make what you make as far as instrumentation
yeah.
goes. Right. Is there something that you use, or like, do you use anything?
Uh, my brain never turns off. I actually uh have difficulty using sound to relax, just because every time I hear
Oh,
a sound, my brain goes, "Ooh, where can I use that?" Because I'm, as a uh, well, I'm not a working musician, but for lack of a better term, a working musician as well as I and percussionist. I'm constantly, every time I hear a sound, I think, where can I use that? And so my brain uh has trouble relaxing to that. I relax better in silence. So, which is, I
wow.
mean, that's still a sound. I mean, there's still always things happening within that, but uh like, I mean, I can pick up anything and find some way to uh relax through rhythm, like very strict rhythms and stuff, as opposed to a natural. But I can go out and just sit and listen to nature as well, but my brain's always thinking. So uh I can use I'll use anything. I mean, it's every week's a different instrument I'm trying to not necessarily master or learn, but more not forget.
Ah. Oh, wow. See, now that's pretty awesome because in the world that we live in, we're constantly bombarded by just noise all the time. Like I remember this one time there was a power outage in the whole neighborhood, and when you went outside, you could tell the difference between the power being on and it not. Because when you went outside, the stillness was overwhelming. Like it was just so quiet because we have become so used to the hum, the undercurrent of sound and noise in the background that, like you said, it's that silence. And you're like, whoa, what do I do with myself with this? Like it's actually quite intriguing to be a part of. And I think that was something that really stood out to me was that power outage because it was for blocks. But coming out of the house, I'm like, what's going on? There was no fridge to hum. And when you go outside, the street lights, there was no sound. And it was a different feeling. And when the power came back on, I was a little upset because, like you said, the quiet was gone, and then here's this noise again. But it's a matter of interpretation sometimes. What we classify as noise, right? Because my son doesn't like the chime. He's not fond of the chime at all. He thinks they are eerie, like horror movie eerie, which is his perception. But for other people, they fall asleep and they go into whatever space or dimension they go to as they relax and unwind. So I just want to say thank you. And as you can see, if you're on YouTube and you're watching us and you're going to catch this replay, there's the ticker going across the bottom of the screen of how you can access it because it's wherever you can go to minalsonicenergy.com. It's scrolling on the bottom or underneath the video. It's that link there in my link tree, and you click on it, and you can just peruse and you put your zip code in or your postal code in wherever you are in the world. You put that in, and it will show you your closest location or how you can access these products because, like I say, sound is absolutely amazing and so helpful to anyone who uses it. And so give them check them out. Like I don't make any money from doing this. I just love the product. And when I record meditations and stuff for people, I will record either the bowl, the tuning fork, or the chime so that people can, and that's why I want the rain the rain drum, Adam. That I want that one because the wave drum is, oh my goodness, like that one just moved me when I heard it being played. And I was like, oh, I gotta have that one because it's it's a different kind of feeling altogether, so that even if you are in a yoga setting or qigong, you can play it, and then you honestly you just begin to move in the fashion that it moves. And that's what I love about how beautiful the principles are. And so when we talk about the principle of vibration, that's what we're talking about because everything is moving, nothing stands still. And the intensity with which you feel that movement, that's the intensity you respond with. And so there is also a dark side to sound because, as we know, uh, other organizations, they use sound as a weapon. You see, this is what people don't know sometimes. Sound can be used either to heal or to hurt. So choose wisely how we will use our sound to help each other. And so, again, I will leave you with this minalsonicenergy.com. And you will get to see all their products because, as Adam mentioned, the catalog is vast. And I know my next thing would probably be the gong too, because whew, just to hear it, your whole body vibrates, and it's the most fantastic feeling ever. So, Adam,
My
thank
pleasure.
you
Thank you.
for coming and spending some time with us. Any parting words you want to share with us today about what you do?
No, I mean, just find the sound that's right for you, and and go with that. And when you're looking for stuff, if the local store doesn't have it, make sure you let them know that what you're looking for, because that is how the only way that those stores will know what their consumers are looking for is if you tell them. So now that they won't only be able to order it in for you, but then the next person in the area who wants it, they'll already have it. So it's kind of a
Yes.
passing it forward type of thing.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah. Fan base, don't go anywhere. I see you, Miss McQueen. I see you, Surreal. I'm coming, okay? Just hold tight. Hold tight. Um, yeah. Let me well, how come the chat didn't come up there? Anywho, thank you,
My
Adam.
pleasure.
Yeah.